Okay, we are we are live,
All right.
making it happen. Okay,
Welcome, world.
we are live.
All right.
Oh no, I just created a terrible audio loop.
Welcome,
Hold on.
world.
Okay. And back at it. There we go. There we go.
Yes.
Whoo! Graham, how's it going?
Good, man.
Yeah.
I'm doing good. I just watched the first episode, so I'm doing great.
Yeah, you are. You're still riding high on those endorphins.
Dude. Are we going? Are we starting?
I mean, we are streaming.
Okay.
So I mean, I think we got a lot to talk about. We got the ep. We got to talk about that. I'm bringing some intro heat. I think you've been working on some Canva art.
Yeah.
For us. I haven't locked down a Twitter handle, so that's gonna get in the way of us, I think, interacting with the fan base a little bit.
Oh yeah.
But
That shouldn't be too big of a hurdle. I think you can just create accounts.
I think Jake at twitter.com is available, so I think we're good.
Oh man. Hey, I didn't tell you. I have two maybe one insanely bad theme song that I made, and one it's thematically not great, but it exists and it's pretty cool. But thematically it doesn't make any sense.
I'm kind of liking the second option more.
Yeah. But you're gonna listen to both if I can find a way to play it for you. But
Yes, I will.
is there a way that I can stream what is on my computer and the sound to you through Zoom?
Yes.
Okay. We're gonna do that.
If you go to share screen,
Uh-huh.
and then that's going to open up a window where you can select the window, and then at the bottom there's an option that says share sound.
Okay. What if the host has disabled me from doing that?
Then you live in a totalitarian hellhole, and
Yeah.
you should. Let's see how we do that. Okay. I'm gonna have you give that a rip again.
All right, here we go. Share that. Share computer sound too. I definitely want that. Optimize
Yes.
screen. Share. No.
Oh, think something's happening.
Please install the Zoom audio device. What the fuck does that mean? And then please restart my audio sharing application.
Okay, I'm seeing.
I
I'm
don't
seeing
know
your
whether or
stuff.
not you can hear what's on my screen, but we're gonna try it.
Yeah, let's give it a rip.
Now, how do I find?
You an Apple guy, huh?
We attempted this 3.5 years ago, and I still do not know how to use this thing. It is not good. Launchpad? Yes. Where is GarageBand? Yes. There.
Whoa.
Very nicely named Pod Attempt 1 and Pod Song 2. So,
Good. I like
right.
the nomenclature.
let's see if I can get to the other one first, because that's the insane one. I want you to listen to the insane
Hell
one
yeah.
first. Man, I don't know what to turn on here. We're not going to do vocals. The vocals are just not okay. All right. Hopefully you hear this. Are you ready?
Yes. So sort of, I feel like that's sort of, you're in the snowstorm, you can't see anything, it's it's spooky.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. Yeah, I wanted.
Is that what you're
I went
going
for as intense as I could. I wanted double bass and like a lot of clapping. So, and just a big old wall of sound.
It's very quiet. I can kind of hear.
It is insanely loud. It is so loud that it's so hard to listen to. So maybe I'll
amazing.
Turn down my volume on my mic here so I don't have to listen to it as loud, and see if I can. I don't know how to turn the master volume up here. I'm just gonna try the other one.
Feel like
Did you hear well enough to?
Yeah.
Okay, let's do the other one.
Juicy.
All right, Pod Song 2. I don't need to save that. All right, you ready?
Yes.
There we go.
So that one I can't really hear anything.
And it's just that on a loop. Did you hear that okay?
No.
No, not at all.
No. I saw a lot of good note velocity, and
how were you able to hear the other one but not that?
Maybe the other one was louder?
It's certainly louder on my end. Here, I'm going to put my headphones down.
Okay. And just blow it out.
And I'm just gonna blast the volume on my mic. Maybe you're hearing it through. All right, we're just gonna try this. So start from the beginning.
Okay.
All right, so yeah, it's just that on a loop.
That slaps hard.
Yeah. That was fun to make.
That is good. Okay. I like very much.
Okay. Yeah, so that's what I have here. We can think about those as options. They're thematically kind of not maybe the right thing, but
I don't know that they're not.
Oh, all right.
Yeah. Okay, so I have a couple of kind of lyric concepts to share with you.
Yes.
So they don't necessarily kind of match up right off the bat, but I feel like let's kind of get all the ingredients in the goulash, and then we'll kind of see how they sit together, right?
Yeah.
Okay. All right, so the first one, think this is sort of in the style of the Beastie Boys. So I'm going to sort of like hit some words real hard, and those are going to be the ones that we both shout together.
Yes.
Okay. We're Graham and Jake, and we're on the mic, like the boys in the trucks out on the ice, laying tracks, getting paid, yeah, we're all the same, and the most important part's the friends we make along the way.
Hell yeah, I love that.
So that's so one.
Yeah.
Okay, so concept 2 is in the style of Rawhide, let's say, just to like give you a point of reference. So they're loading up in Yellowknife, we're plugging in the mics, and we're rolling out for parts unknown across the Arctic ice. From Ingraham to Akati with the moose and the bear, we're riding up north and we're the few who dare.
Oh shit, I love it too.
Okay.
And halfway through I was like, I don't know, that's like a lot of like That's some complicated rhyming in there. But I just love that we end it with the few who dare.
That's pretty good. So then, do you know 100 gex?
I've never listened, but I know that they exist.
Okay.
Do I need to?
So you know, it's sort of like a hyper pop, like very sampled, distorted, tuned.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay. So in particular, I think this is sort of in the style of Stupid Horse, which is one of their songs. So this is: when we started up down south, it was all good, but now we're sliding off the road, man, we're so screwed. Jacked on coffee, and we're strapping dollar shit down, because we'll grab that cash from all the clowns, because we're the few. Wow, shit, I fucked that up.
Yes. It's so much fun. I love this.
Okay, yeah, fuck it. You get the point.
Do it again. I love it.
No, I'm not gonna do it again. I'm 37 years old. I can't do.
Oh shit! 1 second.
I'm 37 years old. I can't do an intro song in the style of 100 gex. It doesn't play.
Dude, I love the commitment though. You went for it.
Oh man. Can you send me those as like a playable file?
Yeah. Like right now or just
not right now. Just
okay.
I wanna kinda like sit with it.
Yeah, man. Totally.
Yeah. Fuck yeah. Radical. Whew.
I mean,
All
I
right.
can make us a beat to do that intro to. I think I can. With GarageBand, it shouldn't be too crazy, but.
I mean, or we can. I mean, I really do like that. The second one you played.
Yeah. It's pretty simple.
Yeah, it has like a really good energy.
All right, right on.
Yeah. Nice.
We could go over the top of that. I'll send that to you. You fuck around with it, see what you can do.
Awesome. Nice. All right. Well, so should we get into the episode?
Yeah, man.
All
Dude,
right.
I'm so pumped.
Awesome. Well, so I just like wrote down some notes and observations as I was watching through here. All right. Why don't you kick us off here?
4 pages. At least. Oh my god. Yeah, man. So first episode. I'm just gonna start from the beginning. So like that intro sequence is so sick.
It's very good.
It's good. It's like the music. I looked it up. The music is it's Aerosmith. It's "Living on the Edge" by Aerosmith.
Wait, really?
Yeah.
I didn't recognize.
They must have known it was going to be
all.
hit. They got an Aerosmith song for their intro music, right?
Wow, that's kind of a called shot.
Yeah, I know.
That's wild because I was thinking the same thing. I was like, this is really good.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and then like there's a part in the intro sequence where the truck crashes through.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, hell yeah, they got it on film. And then it looked like, so I watched it a couple times and I was like, oh, that's like CGI. That is not real truck. And then I looked that up and it's a miniature. So it's not CGI. They just like did it. I don't know how they did it, but they did a miniature truck and like, I don't know.
I think they got the Mythbusters guys on it.
Yeah, that's probably true. They're in the same network, right?
That's amazing.
Which, speaking of network, this is, I know this is like well-tread territory, but this is a history channel.
Yes.
Why is this on the History Channel? But, you know, I guess I don't know what channel it would be on, but...
The History Channel, I really can't chart what trajectory they've been on. Because
They started out differently, right? Yeah.
I used to watch hours a day of the History Channel. Primarily, yes, truly. Primarily Wings. Wings is a documentary series in which each hour-long episode is about one single aircraft.
Oh, dude. So you were like an airplane nerd.
Oh, yeah, I was. Hardcore.
Yes.
But then they started adding in, like, Ancient Aliens. Like, that, I think, was a pretty popular show. And then they went hard into, like, reality TV. But then my most recent... So they did Deadliest Catch, and then, of course, they did this Ice Road Truckers, the follow-on. And, like, the most recent product I enjoyed of theirs was the series Vikings. Have you seen this?
I've not seen it. I've heard of it. And that seems like... Is that, like... That's got to be one of their biggest hits, right?
It must be. The production values are, like, wild.
Is that a scripted series?
It is all improv. No, it's scripted.
But I mean, is it like a drama type of?
Yeah, it's a drama set in kind of, I guess, I think it's like, I don't know, 800-ish CE, but like really good acting, amazing sets and costumes, dope music. It's a great show. And the accents, like they have a bunch of actors from Iceland and like Norway, but also like from the UK and the US, and all of them have been coached to adopt this accent that like I can't figure out if it's rooted in a real thing or if they're just like, you gotta talk like you're not from around here.
Just you need to sound cold.
You need to sound a little congested and kind of angry and just like fired up about everything.
That's just like throughout every actor.
Throughout.
I might have to check
Tonight
this
we
out.
will get pizza.
I mean, that sounds like if you did that to me, I'd be like, oh, he's doing like a Viking accent.
Classic Viking.
I don't know what country like people currently speak that way.
I saw this amazing dog on TikTok.
Yeah.
Oh man.
Jeez.
Okay, so intro, very good.
Yeah.
Very good.
Yeah, I was real impressed. I mean, we have, 100 or so episodes to watch, so I assume I will be less impressed at some point.
I don't make that assumption.
Okay. I want to ask you this. Do you know our main characters' names?
I'm closing the note.
Yeah, without looking. Do you know their names?
Alex, TJ,
Yeah.
Rick,
Yeah.
Hugh.
Mm-hmm.
Alex, TJ, Rick, Hugh. Fuck. That's all I got.
You did 4 there, right?
Yeah.
Okay. There are some rhymey ones, and I think that's probably what's throwing you off.
Oh, because there's
You have
Drew
Hugh
and Hugh.
And Drew, and you have
Uh-huh.
TJ and Jay.
That's right.
Yeah.
That was a good question.
I know, right? I was
Yeah.
I was gonna go with you, but then I had looked at it recently, so I really wanted to know if I could remember him too. I just looked at it. Bummer.
So hold on, before we get into the characters, I have one
yeah.
more comment on the intro,
Yes.
which is like, so the music slaps so hard, right? And then the most lemonade drinking, like Uncle Greg voiced white dude ever is doing the like voiceover, and I wrote down the line where he was talking about like this land of ice, and how there was gold in them thar hills, so to speak, and now they're mining the other kind of ice, diamonds.
Oh, yeah.
Like, lol. Yeah, bud.
The other kind of ice.
Pretty sure my grandpa would refer to diamonds as ice if he were alive.
It's just like it's like in 1999. That was what, like it was in a rap song, and then by 2007, just mayonnaise white guys like doing the voiceover for Ice Road Truckers.
Oh my god! Yeah,
they're looking for a different kind of ice.
I would love it if there was an alternate cut of the intro that was tonally very different, in which I'll just say they didn't explain what ice as slang meant.
I wonder, well, you probably know this. You've seen more than the first episode. That intro seemed like two parts. You have like the normal cinematic, thematic introduction, and then you have him doing some explanation.
Uh-huh.
Are both parts of those done? Like for the whole series? It's like a 1.5-minute intro. I just and it's like they're gonna re-explain this every episode?
Maybe every time they add on a little bit more.
Okay.
Like they're just trying to limit it to what we can absorb each time.
Oh my god.
All right, so character talk.
Yeah. So should we go through the episode chronologically, or should we like hit characters and then other stuff?
I'm game for whatever.
My notes are chronological, but I don't have to stick to my notes.
Let's follow what the fates have laid out for us.
Okay. Well, so I mean, we've spent about 10 minutes on a minute intro, so at this pace, we're gonna be doing this for about 4 hours. But I'm cool with that.
I'm good. I don't have a hard stop, so.
Okay. Good. Yeah. Okay. All right. So, yep. So it tells us. I learned a lot, like from that intro.
Yes.
God, we're still talking about the intro, but
the intro, there's a lot to unpack there.
And I do feel like for our future listeners here, they need context as well to understand what we're talking about.
Absolutely.
So, like, some of the things that I learned that I didn't go into this knowing, that they're doing this. They only do it for 60 days. And they're trying to do, they said 10,000 loads, which there must be more than just our 6 main characters trucking. They must be like 6 of like 600 truckers doing this if they want to do 10,000 loads in 60 days. But anyway, so they've got to go 300 miles to diamond mines, which apparently in like the northern Northwest territories, there are sick ass diamond mines. Under the ice or something. I learned that. And 85% of the path there is ice. Or it's not ice, it's frozen lakes. So they're just driving on frozen lakes. I'm dumb, and I kind of was like, oh, Ice Road Truckers, they're just like, it's just like a cold road. But no, it's straight up frozen lakes the whole way.
It's actually an ice road.
Yeah. Which, you would think
badass.
Based on the title of the show, I might have figured that out.
Graham, this is why they have the intro. I also learned a lot from the intro. Yeah, so, Graham, on average, how many loads a day should they do?
Based on what I'm seeing, they are gonna get 1 a day.
I mean, like the trucking, the whole operation, in order to deliver 10,000 loads in 60 days.
I should be able to do this math. I'm a physicist. 10,000.
You actually didn't have to say that part. You could have just.
No. I can do this.
Okay. All right.
Just let me. So divide by 10 would be 1,000. Divided by 6 more would be like 1,000 divided by 6. We're talking like 100 and 100 and it's called 170.
167, baby.
Oh shit! Got it. And a nice way to fill some airtime too. Hell yeah!
Nice. So the other thing, this is going to involve jumping ahead a little bit here, but so they also say that they have over 100 million pounds to move. So that's only an average load size of 10,000 pounds. Okay. And then they talk about what the loads are that each of these guys is hauling. And their first loads are like 20,000, 28,000, 18,500, 10,000. So I'm very curious if either that 100 million figure was inaccurate, or if later on they're just like, I've got a crate full of chicken feathers.
They need pillows at the diamond mine.
So a lot of pillows. Yeah.
I mean, there are some, I don't know, plot holes, but certainly I do have some questions that I feel like we need to get to at the end.
Okay, good.
And, maybe I'm kind of like, well, they just haven't had a chance to explain it. And I do have 113 more episodes of this show to watch. That so, by that point, I'll probably know.
Yeah. Maybe everything. We are not the experts yet.
Yeah. I'll accept that. All right. So we do the... we get through the introduction. They say the people's names. Yep. And then they introduce the guy who like runs the shipping warehouse.
Yes.
Very briefly. And then I'm not sure that I see him again.
We do see him again.
Okay.
And I wrote down my new hero, Rick Fitch.
Rick Fitch. Okay.
Who has the amazing line, I'm Rick Fitch, and this is my yard. That is the kind of fiery personality that we can look forward to. Legit, though, Rick seems rad.
Yeah.
I would absolutely love to, like, shadow Rick for a day and see what he's doing here.
Oh, my God. Yeah. That seems like the place to be, too. The guy running the shipping yard, like, yeah.
Uh-huh.
I don't want to be on that truck.
No.
I decided, I mean, after watching one episode, I'm like, I'm not cut out for this.
Really? Is that real talk?
I mean, yeah, real talk. I would not do this. Would you, if the price was right,
100%.
do 60 days?
Yeah, I was gonna say yes before you even said if the price was right, and now I'm like hard in.
Really? Okay.
Absolutely. Right. I think all of this sounds awesome.
Yes. That's so funny. Oh man. I don't know, like part of it is the danger, I think, for me, but also like just like the boredom of it, I think, too.
Uh-huh.
I don't know. We'll get into it.
All right. Yeah.
Yeah. I'll have a lot of opinions as we go along.
I can tell. Sure. Yeah, I can tell there's a lot of diamonds in those grounds.
Yeah. Okay. You're gonna have to help me fill in some of the gaps here, but so right after that, they start measuring the ice with this tool called the Haglund, which like I think measures the ice depth. Which makes sense. You don't want to be driving on thin ice.
Preach.
And then we see the plow trucks start up. So the whole point here is they gotta make sure the ice is ready, and they gotta start making the roads. So this is what they're introducing to us.
Mm-hmm. Hey, when you were growing up,
yeah,
did you have to watch in elementary school like the videos about what to do if you're driving in a car across the ice and the car crashes through?
I grew up in the Bahamas. So no, we didn't. they, I didn't realize that you could. I didn't realize like that you were like it was okay to walk on ice until I met my wife in grad school, and she told me like they would go walk across the frozen lake. Like she grew up on a lake in Wisconsin. They would walk across the lake. I was like,
she Jesused you.
Not safe. Have you seen Little Women?
That's amazing.
and then we like visited her sister who lives here, and they're like, oh yeah, there's a college here that they just use the lake as a parking lot in winter. I was like, they drive their cars? So yeah, I did not know that it was like an okay thing.
Word. Okay. Well, so so it's an educational film. So I went to elementary school in the late 80s. And so I can recall these like grainy films of, unless I'm making it up, wood paneled station wagons like out on the ice. And so the thing is, if your car goes in the water, and I guess this isn't specific to ice, it's just generically if a car goes in the water.
Sure.
Like the thing is, you're not going to be able to open the door because of the water pressure. So what you have to do is like take a big breath, roll down the window to like flood the inside to equalize the pressure, and then you'll be able to open the door or swim out the window or something. So gotcha. I saw a great joke the other day, which is in Wisconsin, all school kids are taught how to escape from a car that's gone under the ice, which is take a big breath, roll down the window, and then if the bottom's lower than 60 feet, you're going to need to slowly exhale on your way up so that you don't get the bends. And if you see any walleye, make sure you note the depth and what they're feeding on.
Oh shit, that is a good Wisconsin joke.
Mm-hmm. Oh man.
Oh hell yeah.
Okay, so we've done the introduction. We've heard they've said their names. We've measured the ice.
Yeah.
Plowed the ice.
Yeah. And then we start meeting the boys. So first up, we got Hugh. And Hugh, I want to say he's my favorite. Just because he seems like he knows his shit. He is a veteran. He's been doing this like as long or longer than anybody else. He's got like a warm personality about him, but he's also kind of a hard ass, which I think you need to be good at this. And
he's so funny.
Yeah.
I mean, almost all of these dudes are super hilarious.
Yeah. There's some good personalities.
Yes.
Yeah.
Like no joke, I would love to work for a guy like Hugh.
Yeah.
Like, he rules.
Yeah. He seems like he'll keep you safe, too.
Uh-huh.
Or, as like, more or less.
Yeah. I mean, if you're going to dig your own grave, he's going to let you.
Yeah.
But, like, he just, like, really knows what he's about.
Yeah. So, we meet Hugh. That's all we really learn about him. He has 4 trucks. You know that. And then we meet Rick. And Rick is one of Hugh's employees. And he's an absolute shithead. We, on this podcast, hate Rick. Rick is a talker. He's full of himself. And he can fuck off. That is our Rick opinion. Based off of...
See, I may part ways with you on this
one. Okay. Let's hear your impression of Rick.
I mean... Rick... Oh, and let's not forget Alec. Okay. Rick's okay. I'm okay with Rick. For a minute, I mixed up Rick and Alex.
Oh, yeah. Alex is cool.
Alex is my number 2 boy. Like, ride or die with Hugh and Alex.
Yeah. Oh, I'm excited to get to Alex.
Okay, sorry. So Rick, I'm ambivalent.
Yeah. Okay. You'll learn to hate him. I'm confident. I have
Call
a good
shot.
sense for these things. He's the villain.
So power rankings so far are number 1 Hugh and number 40 Rick.
Yeah. And then we go right into Drew. Who I might need a little help from you on here. I wrote he is a newbie and he is confident.
So Drew, I mean, Drew delivers the the absolute best plot twist imaginable for the first episode, right?
Yeah. I remember that now.
Be better. Okay.
Yeah, we're gonna get to that.
So you know what? I think for now, let's just stick with new and confident.
Yeah, that pretty much. I wrote. Yeah, those are good notes in retrospect. All right, and then so we meet those three, and then we kind of move on in the show, and we go back to the snowplows, I think, and I just wrote down that somebody said the snowplow. It's talking about. I think they had a snowplow like driver, and they were talking to him, and he was saying like, "Oh yeah, it's pretty dangerous." And then I think maybe we got the voiceover guy who was saying that it's such and such year a snowplow was driving and it hit weak ice at -35 below. There's weak ice and it went under, and dozens have died this way.
Yeah.
And I was like,
I mean,
that was astonishing to me for a number of like -35. Like that ice got to be thick.
Yeah.
I don't know how this happened. They didn't like give a ton of details. I want to know.
There's some missing pieces there.
Yeah, I need diagrams to explain exactly how that happens.
Yeah. The day before it was 150.
Yeah. Why is there weak ice?
I don't know.
Yeah.
I think ghosts. I think there's sort of a subtext through a lot of this that no one wants to acknowledge, but it's ghosts.
Yeah, they're tying this into the other series on history, I think.
Absolutely.
Also, dozens is like at least 24 snowplow drivers have died doing this.
So that's true.
Dozens.
And how many years did they say they've been doing this?
Oh, I don't know. You know, as long as there've been billion-dollar diamond mines in the upper Northwest Territories.
I for some reason 60 years is sticking in my head. It can't be longer than that.
Yeah, I can't imagine. I mean, the technology to drive a truck and weather that cold.
Yeah.
I have this thing in my head where, like, there's no way that people lived that far north before, like, 50 years ago.
Are you serious?
Like, how do you stay warm enough? I mean, I know, like, indigenous people, yes.
Okay.
So I guess, like, but how do, I mean, I have a lot of learning to do about indigenous people, I think.
I think we all do, Graham. So you mean like when sort of like Western industrialized soft weak people moved there?
It just seems like the heating systems would be too faulty at some point to like make it through a winter and get around and like plow the streets and like...
I mean, there was like the Alaska Gold Rush, and I mean, we would die. We would immediately die.
I guess that's the other thing is maybe people did do this. They were just like, a lot of people died also. People just don't die now as much.
I mean, I do think there's something to like there was a lot more mortality, but I think it's also true that like the human body functions. So now I'm going to become a Wim Hof stan, apparently.
Yeah. Hit me with that Wim Hof.
You know, like the human body has all of these like responses to cold. but you and I live in these like very narrow bands of like conditions, and so those responses don't really get exercised. So certainly I think there's like behavioral and like technological aspects of culture that like influence how people can live in those conditions, but I think there's also some physiology that plays a role too. I mean, humans can exist in those places. It is hard and it is dangerous. But we can do it. I mean, we could probably do it. We could probably get some Takis and some coats and ball out.
I don't want to jump too far ahead, but apparently you don't need coats.
That's okay. Yes.
A little spoiler alert for what is it we're about to hear. All right, so let's keep going here. So,
well, hold on one sec. So
go ahead.
I gotta throw something in on the topic of the cold.
Yeah.
So I did a little bit of online research and found a great blog about how to survive your first winter in Yellowknife.
Oh, hell yeah.
And it had some great tips on dealing with the cold that I am surprised I've never heard of before.
Oh, yes. I want to hear these.
Here is the best one.
Yeah.
You should wear as many layers as the first digit of the temperature. Meaning, if it's 40 below, you should be wearing 4 layers of clothes.
Nice. This is only
negative.
a negative.
Yes.
Okay. But if it's like 10, they're like long sleeve shirt.
You're fine. which is kind of true.
Is it?
Well, so I mean, last time we talked about how like I was biking year round as my primary mode of transportation for a while, and I really learned a lot from that about like how different temperatures and wind chills feel.
Yeah.
And like so part of it has to do with, are you just like sitting still, or are you active and doing something, but I mean, if I'm going cross country skiing, I will wear I'll wear a t-shirt and a very breathable hoodie, and I'll wear that down to 0. Because otherwise you just get too hot.
Yeah, I could see that. I would want you to wear like a jacket that you discard after like you've been going for 5 minutes.
Yeah.
That's what I would need, at least. I can understand like once I'm going, like I don't need all that extra stuff, but like I would be so cold.
You would start off real cold, but the cold is just information that tells your body, what up, boys? Let's start stoking those fires, right?
So you gotta get moving.
Yeah, so like, you don't want to be foolhardy, but if you are going to be outside for a while, trying to like keep yourself super warm till the last second is kind of like, I find it like, it's kind of like confuses my body.
I think like the danger side of it is like every time that it gets like, we live in Minnesota, so me, myself, and Jake both live in Minnesota. We're friends.
All 3 of us
in real life. Yeah, me, myself, and Jake. Every time it gets like below 0 and there's any sort of wind chill, the news, everything is like, listen, if you're outside with exposed skin for more than like, let's say 4 minutes, shit's gonna start falling off your body. And to me, when I hear stuff like that, I'm like, well, it's just not safe. But what I'm hearing from you is like, that's not true, or you just need to be moving and get blood flow.
Well, we have to be more specific, because part of it is there's sort of the objective reality, and then there's our individual kind of experience of and response to it. So in my favorite photos on my phone, I have saved the wind chill chart that is color coded for like how many minutes you can have exposed skin before you risk frostbite. Yeah. So we do sometimes encounter dangerous conditions here, but you have to have wind chills of between basically above -50. Below -50, which is pretty rare.
Exposed skin.
And exposed skin in order to have a risk of frostbite in 5 minutes or less, which we very rarely have.
Yeah, and to bring it back to the show,
yes,
they are talking about negative wind chills in Yellowknife, Northwest Territories. I don't think at any point did they say anything below -40.
Well, they kept referring to I think temperatures of -40. I will say it was not clear though if they meant that in Fahrenheit or Celsius. I would assume because they're all like in Canada, they're talking about Celsius.
At one point, I think. We also meet one of my favorite characters in the show, the radio guy.
Yes.
And the radio guy, which we can talk about later. The radio guy is like, he says -40, whether Celsius or Fahrenheit, doesn't matter. It's cold out here. And I think what he's referring to is there is a negative temperature, and I think it's around -40 where Celsius and Fahrenheit are about the same.
Oh my God, you're totally right.
Yeah,
you're absolutely correct. See, I was like, that's an extremely unhelpful forecast.
The guy's like, welcome to the only place you can get news in town, and the best I can tell you is it's very cold outside.
Okay, so at -40 degrees, basically no matter what the wind is, you are looking at possible frostbite in 10 minutes or less.
Okay.
So to your point, with
exposed skin.
Exposed skin, yes.
Okay.
So to your point, seeing one of these dudes outside his truck tying on straps wearing a t-shirt seems like an unnecessary and unwise risk.
Nope.
Like, why?
What do you? I know he has a jacket in the cab of his truck.
For sure.
Like, he must be showing off for the camera.
He did a couple of push-ups before that shot just to like get pumped.
That was insane to me.
That was pretty wild. Because I don't know, they are not risk takers in general. Like, these guys seem to like really understand the dangers and are not looking to do anything extreme. And so I would imagine that like, crap, I gotta like redo these straps is a pretty common thing. And so you're just like, yep, I put on my gloves, I put on my jacket, I like go do it.
Yeah. It baffled me.
Yeah.
And part of it is like, it got down, I want to say last winter or the winter before, to -25 real temperature in the Twin Cities, which is the coldest I've ever seen it. And I don't know what the wind chill was, probably -35 or -40. And when that happened, I remember first I was able to start my car and I thought, oh, this is a miracle. And then I drove to work, and the whole time I was like, okay, if my car breaks down, I'm going to have to, like, if the cold is too much for my car, which is like apparently isn't a thing, I'm going to have to run from my car to the nearest building and beg them to let me in where there's heat, because I will die outside.
And for context, is this when you were driving like 5 miles, or when you were driving like 50 miles?
No, this is across town, like 5 miles. Yeah. It's surrounded by buildings the whole way. Like, there's no way that I could have been further from, like, more than 100 feet from heat. My car broke down. But just like a constant fear the whole time.
Uh-huh.
And now I'm realizing like, oh, this guy was like just colder than that in a t-shirt with no gloves. So like, I guess it's possible to survive.
This is true.
I didn't know that. I thought people died.
Just, I mean, look, we all saw The Day After Tomorrow. Like, we saw what happened to those helicopter pilots.
Yeah. Which, great segue. I'm gonna bring us back to our timeline here.
Nice.
So, there's a quick Hugh heads out, right? So he kisses his wife goodbye, and they get on the road from, I guess, like Vancouver area is what I gathered, or at least
I think that's
British
right-ish.
Columbia.
Yeah.
To Yellowknife. So he says a little sad goodbye, and then it cuts back to Yellowknife, and we see these like really sick images of like, this is what -40 below looks like, and it's all this machinery that's just like iced over. And I was like, hell yeah, that is some, like, I don't know, it was just like cool images of just like really frozen stuff.
So
like
Ice Planet
in...
Hoth level.
Yeah. And then so they go from that to like, okay, you just saw like how iced up stuff can get. We're going to tell you about winterizing the trucks, which I found kind of interesting. But so they do something with alcohol. They put alcohol in a thing, and they use antifreeze, which, you know, of course. But then they they just grab a blanket or a tarp, and they cover the front of the truck, and then like kind of underneath it, and like, oh, that helps. How does that help?
Yeah, I have to say, winterizing turned out to be a lot less involved than I thought it would be.
Yeah. I really thought that it would need like, I don't know, some special technology to keep it from breaking down or something.
Or even just like, okay, your whatever supplies you normally keep in your cab like might not be adequate for what you're encountering. So like, let's go through what's the shit you need to have to like fix stuff on the road, stay alive, like, you know. There's none of that.
Yeah, I want to see. At least show me one of those astronaut blankets somewhere.
Right.
Ah, man. All right, so we do that, and then we see, we learn the safety rules of driving on the ice. And this was another place where I learned a lot, which is like, there's speed limits, and the speed limits exist because, and help me out here, it's if you're going too fast, there's a wave, or if you're driving on the ice at all, there's a wave of water underneath the ice, and it's kind of out in front of your car. And then if you get going too fast, that wave becomes bigger and bigger, and at some point, if you're going really fast, it just like breaks right through the ice, and then your truck will run into the ice that's broken in front of you from the wave and probably crash through.
Yes.
You agree with
that? I think you got it.
Yeah. Which to me, that made me go, oh, so they can't just like really zip from one place to another on the ice. So like,
I don't think they're Tokyo drifting across those lakes.
And this kind of comes back later. I mean, they talk about this a lot, and like, you know, the cracking of the ice and the different ways that the trucks can, you know, the waves become too big, and you know, if two trucks are passing one another, they both have their own waves. Well, if those waves hit, boom, you get cracks, and both trucks are in trouble. Yeah.
Seems real bad.
I think there's even like a little animation they did during this.
I think that animation was CGI.
Yeah.
Because didn't have quite enough polygons for my taste. I could have done with a few more of those.
Oh man. Okay. Now we meet TJ. And all I wrote down is he's 21 years old. Is he the guy? He's scared, right?
Yes.
He's like in over his head, excited to do it, but like very clearly is a novice. I'm not even sure his trucking history.
I think they said he was driving for like 2 years.
Okay, yeah.
And he says he saw a newspaper ad and literally was just like, it's truck driving. I drive a truck. Let's do this damn thing. But I love that in contrast to Drew, right? TJ is having this sort of oh shit moment over basically the entire first episode.
Yes. Yeah. Drew is just confident because he's been not ice road trucking for a while. He's been regular trucking, which we don't hear anything about these guys non-ice road trucking, other than to say, these newbies have been non-ice road trucking. We don't know if the rest of the crew, like, if they have summer jobs or what.
True.
I just had this. I just thought about what if Hugh was a lifeguard. But yeah, so TJ is super green and way over his head, but is also very scared, which is probably a good thing.
Very teachable.
Yeah. So we just meet him briefly, and then I just wrote down that someone casually says, I've seen a lot of people freeze to death. And I think it was like one of the drivers, because I think, we're getting into the urine testis next. So I think like we had multiple drivers talking or something, and one of them is just like, maybe it's one of the other drivers telling TJ, like, I've seen a lot of people freeze to death. I was like, what? I guess so, but I don't know.
I tell you what, I wouldn't have to see very many people freeze to death before I started saying I've seen a lot of people freeze to death.
Yeah.
Maybe 2.
Yeah, I feel like if I saw 2, I'd be telling everybody, listen, I've seen a lot of people freeze to death doing this job.
Yeah.
Because outside of ice road trekking, I have not seen many dead bodies in my life. So I feel like if I saw 2 doing anything, I'd be like, I've seen a lot of dead bodies recently doing this thing that I'm doing.
Word. So the urine test is very good.
There's
a lot
that's
of great
probably
jokes.
That's definitely the most fun part of this episode. They were goofing it up. They were ribbing. I think, what was it? TJ had a shy bladder.
Mm-hmm.
Oh man, what do you remember from? Yeah.
Well, TJ's shy bladder was great, and then Alex says, "I stopped drinking liquids 10 years ago," and that I'm so old I have to take half of Viagra just to go to the bathroom. Both of which are great one-liners.
Those are really good lines. Oh shit, Alex, yeah. Oh man. Also, the point of the urine test is to check for amphetamines because they're like driving all night, right?
And
so,
to check for them after they've arrived before anyone does any all-night trekking. So,
maybe like wait
test.
a week and then check.
Cool.
Just was showing up like ready to go day one, hyped up on amphetamines. Oh my god. But also, like, listen, let them have amphetamines. Like, they're driving all night on an ice road. I don't want them to.
We're back.
Oh, I got you back.
We're back in business. All right. Whew.
Nice.
Let me make sure we're still rolling on things here. think so. Let's go ahead and check that follower count, and looks like we are still at 1. Okay.
Right on, right on.
All right, still at 1. Sure, okay. All right. So urine test.
Yeah. A lot of fun doing the urine test. And then we meet Alex.
Yes.
So they introduce Alex, and first off, my man has 11 kids.
It's 7 grandkids.
He has 7 grandkids? Oh, I didn't know that. I missed that part. He doesn't look like a man who is a grandfather. I mean, if you have 11 kids, yeah, one of them has their own child. There's no way, like, you know, unless you're having a kid every year. One of the kids is 25.
Word. But Alex is so fun. Alex, I think, is probably funnier than Hugh.
Yeah.
So yeah, Hugh and Alex ride or die.
Yeah. I was a little thrown off by him having 11 kids, and I was like, oh man, this guy's gonna be weird as shit. But he's cool.
Yes.
He's like a cool guy with 11 kids. Not an absolute psycho. Which is what I associate people with 11 kids with. And that's on me.
I'm glad you own that.
He lives in Yellowknife, which when you live in Yellowknife, you have 11 kids, because what else do you do in Yellowknife? Yes.
Coffee shop culture is big in the winter. Pub culture is big. Learned this from the blog.
Is this true?
This is true advice on how to survive your first winter in Yellowknife.
Nice. They have a nice pub culture there. Sick, dude. Maybe I should go to Yellowknife.
We should go. I'm gonna call it episode 500. We go to Yellowknife.
Yes. Hell yeah, man. All right. So, and then the ice road opens. So,
Boom.
yeah, it did. I don't remember there being a ton of fanfare in the episode. They just were like, all right, and Alex is up first. Oh, I made a note here. It must have been sometime around here where they were showing from underneath the water a road driving over the top. And I was like, it's at negative 30 degrees. And they're having a scuba diver go under like 2 feet of ice to film a semi-truck driving over the top. And I was like, oh my God. Imagine being on the production crew for this show.
It's probably pretty rad.
Yeah, I mean, I want to know about that guy's job.
That's interesting. That's gettable. We get 50 episodes. We could probably get that dude.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, at some point, like, we can interview people on this show.
At some point.
There probably aren't a lot of podcasts about ice road truckers. And these people were...
A show that went off the air 3 years ago.
Oh, hell yeah. I'm so excited about someday interviewing somebody from the show. Or everyone from the show.
Absolutely.
That just blew me away. They had a scuba diver under the ice.
It's very cool.
Yeah. It seemed scary to me. If you're catching a theme, I'm interpreting a lot of what's happening in the show as scary, and I think you're interpreting a lot of it as very rad.
This is kind of an interesting reversal, because classically, I think, Graham, you're sort of the bad boy of the group in skateboarding and other bad boy things.
There's certainly an airs about me for being cool and super sick. But deep down, I'm a nervous little boy. Okay. All right. So another little note I have here is that like it looked like the truck was going like after they opened up the road, it showed them on the ice road on the actual lake. And it looked like he was going maybe 3 miles per hour. And this is kind of a thing that so one of my big questions, I have this written in all caps. How fast are they going? They do not say at any point how fast they're driving, but I do know that they're supposed to be going 300 miles. But every time it shows them on the ice, it's like they're going 5 miles an hour.
Yeah, I mean, there are some times when they seem to be going faster, but so I don't think we're given a lot of real specific times. But like Alex's first trip, I think he rolls into Ekati at like 3 a.m. or 4 a.m. or something.
Yeah.
And he left the prior day in what I assume would have been the morning. So like, I mean, it was daylight, and it seems like they're only getting like 7 hours of daylight. So, I don't know, let's say it was like 10 when he left. So, what is that? That's like 17 hours.
Yeah.
So that's like 20 miles an hour.
I just realized that they're so far north that shouldn't it be like nighttime the whole time? Are they that far north?
Well, at the very edge, they're still south of the Arctic Circle, but they are very close.
Okay.
Yellowknife is 300 miles to the south of that. But I mean, I would agree with you that their day seems like it should be shorter than 7 hours. If presumably this is in December or January.
Yeah, they didn't specify the dates of when this happens. Later on, I think, was it TJ drives, he starts out at night and he has to do 300 miles and he ends and it's still dark.
Yes.
So I was like, he did this in what, 8 hours? But I forgot that it's dark very, like, for much longer there.
But that's a good point. I mean, he left at like 10 p.m. or something. I think I remember that. So it had to be less than 12 hours.
Right.
So it seems like maybe average speed of between 20 and 30 miles an hour.
At least.
Which is not
maybe
that much.
Maybe we'll find out.
Yeah, maybe.
I mean, it'll be insane if we make it through over 100 episodes of this and they never address how fast these trucks go. I don't know what the fuck they'll talk about for 100 episodes if they don't at least mention that at some point.
Oh, man.
All right, so Alex heads out, and then, so Hugh's convoy is next. And I wrote down that Hugh, his accent, we also have some great accents here.
Yes.
Hugh's accent very specifically sounds like my wife's uncle.
Awesome.
Pat. Him and this rural Wisconsin farmer guy have the same accent, which is like, it's really far away from here, but the accents are kind of similar.
Yes. I love the accents.
Yeah.
They're so good.
Did you have a favorite? Do you remember?
I mean, again, Hugh and Alex, like, theirs is so good. And then, of course, my new hero, Rick Fitch. I'm Rick Fitch and this is my yard.
Yeah.
The accents are amazing.
I really liked, I think, Jay, who we meet in just a little bit. I said that he has the funniest accent.
Uh-huh.
Except maybe I'm confusing him with TJ because we'll get there. So Hugh
No,
heads out,
you're
and
thinking
then
of Jay.
what's that?
No, you're thinking of Jay.
Am I okay?
Yeah, because he's the like, he's like only 25, but he's been driving 7 years, and he drives like the biggest, craziest loads. And
Yeah,
it's like he has a real hard accent, but he's also super upbeat,
yeah,
and that combination is so choice.
yeah. Is he the one who was like, he's driving and he's like, "Holy Jesus H Christ"?
Okay, no, that's okay. That's TJ.
That's TJ.
Yes,
I can't,
that's
I
TJ.
do not
Holy
know
mother of
which.
pearl!
Yeah, that was so funny. He's like, he has like 4 lines in a row where they just are filming him going like, "Oh Jesus! Oh holy hell! I can't. This road! Oh my God!"
He had such good reactions.
Yeah. Oh man, that was a delight.
So are
Um,
we up to Drew's big moment yet?
First, so Rick goes out. He fucking just doesn't strap down his load, and he has to fix the load. And so he's out. It's negative 20 degrees, and he has to fix his straps. And he's just like, "I'm wearing a t-shirt." So this is the point where he's out there in a t-shirt, negative 20 degrees, and just like hammering on these straps. It's like, dude, put a jacket on. You're not. Yeah. I think we talked about that earlier, though. So, okay, and then we have Alex, and so Alex had an air leak underneath. It was like something with his brakes, and so he has to keep getting out of his car, going completely underneath, and like pressing a little button that lets air out so his brakes don't lock out. And he has to do it every like 10 miles all night.
Yeah. Yeah, I think it would open up to bleed air, but then not shut. And so you had to keep pressing it so it could build pressure back up.
Gotcha. Because
So,
otherwise
that
his
doesn't
brakes
sound
would like
super fun.
lock up, right?
Yeah. Seems bad.
And he's out there, he's doing this. He's not wearing a hat. He's not wearing gloves. And it's negative 34 degrees.
Mhm.
He has like a windbreaker on. I made a note that it must suck to be a cameraman who's stuck in that truck too. Like, dude, are we about to have to shut off this truck and just like, are we gonna freeze to death? It's their first day on the job too.
Yeah,
Oh, man.
I don't know. I wonder if it seems like there's some like dash cams and stuff in the trucks, but then there must be, if there's not someone riding along, there must be like a production van behind them or something.
Oh,
And
that
like
makes
if that's true, I would actually love to hear about what those vehicles are like.
Yeah,
Because that must be some like, I don't know.
ice
What do
road
I-
production vans.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm really interested in the production of this show because they're also like getting kind of interviewee type of moments with like what's obviously just a dash cam facing the driver. So somebody must be asking them questions somehow.
That could be,
Because
yeah.
we're getting reactions. Yeah. Anyway, so now we're to Drew,
Now we're to
and
Drew.
I'll let you. Do you need me to
Man,
tee this up?
Drew, so Drew just has, like, if you're a reality TV show producer, you must pray every day that you get a moment like what Drew delivers.
Yes.
So they're sort of foreshadowing that like Drew really thinks he's hot shit. Like his voice is dripping with contempt as other people are basically saying, "Hey, I'm here if you need help." And then they're sort of joking around, and someone, maybe Alex, maybe Rick, I think actually made some joke about like, "Yeah, be nice to me and I'll pull you out if you go into a ditch." And so Drew says something that they bother to caption on the screen just so everyone can see exactly what he says. So he says, "I have no intention of going in a ditch bro, and I haven't seen a ditch yet. Cut to commercial.
Yeah.
Come back and voiceover. Drew found his ditch. He So of course he goes off the road and has to get pulled out. And then the next shot of him is of him saying very earnestly, I think you just have to have a respect for the road. No, so he sort of jumped over the like, I was wrong. Like, guys, thanks for trying to watch my back. Oh man, I really hope that Drew goes through like a great sort of redemptive character arc, because his energy was bad.
Yeah. Oh God.
Yeah.
I also really
that was the moment for me in the whole episode.
Yeah. Yeah. God, I love that line. I have no intention of going into a ditch, bro. That was so good.
It was very good.
Also, I'm not sure I understand how there are ditches, because ditch implies that the road would like slope off. So I guess maybe if they're on, we didn't even talk about how they built ice roads on the land, which I don't understand.
The portages.
I'm not sure I want to get into it. Yeah, portage.
Which was fascinating, because like I've been, as a good Minnesotan, going to the Boundary Waters where we cross what we call portages.
Yeah.
But the portages across the land, it sounded like coming onto or off of a portage, maybe. Okay. Is where this happened. And so I can imagine that they've sort of built up the ice road, and then there's like, a drop off on either side. But it also sounded like he just kind of fucking ran it right into a huge snowbank.
I do love that they called them portages. It is like, there's no French Canadian at all in the show, except they decide, well, we're going to call portages portages.
Absolutely.
Oh, man. Yeah. I don't know how he did it, but Drew really fucked up there. That was great.
He really fucked up. Oh, man.
We meet Jay, the 25-year-old phenom.
Mm-hmm.
And he's just badass young guy. He doesn't get a ton of screen time, I don't think, in this episode, other than showing him like with these huge loads being a badass.
Yeah. I think he didn't give him a lot to work with by virtue of being kind of taciturn and extremely competent.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, he just seems competent.
Yeah. Yep, I do my job same way every day.
Does he have a kid?
Yes.
He's the one, they show him leave his house with a kid, and he's like, yeah, that was nice.
Yeah.
Put me on his side. He lives in Yellowknife also.
Mm-hmm.
So one of, his first of 11 kids. I think it's what we're supposed to presume there. Okay, and now we have TJ.
Mm-hmm.
And this is kind of how we're rounding out the episode. I think TJ is our last guy, and just a ton of him being like scared shitless, and like that was a joy too, just to see him like way over his head, and like there's a blizzard, it was a whiteout all of a sudden, and he couldn't see the road at all. And at least the way it was filmed, I was like, I can't really see the road either. I'd be pretty scared. Like,
yeah.
All of a sudden, you have no idea if you're about to go off.
Yeah, and his escalating curses from the actual line, "Holy Mother of Pearl," early on. To eventually him just being like, holy fuck.
He didn't actually cuss, or they didn't actually bleep anything, did they?
Oh, they bleeped a lot of him.
Oh, did they?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, I should go back and
definitely
rewatch
dropped
that.
some F-bombs.
Oh my gosh, I could try to find that. But man, yeah. I do remember him. I wrote down, "Holy Jesus H Christ." Oh God. Oh, he was so funny. And then, oh no, now they cut back to Jay bringing a big tube because he's the last one to go. And I wrote, I'm getting tired of all the J names. Because they put Jay and TJ together, and I was like, and they're both young. I was like, how am I supposed to keep these two apart? I'm bad with faces. They should think about that sort of stuff when they make this show.
It's just a whole bunch of fucking white dudes, so.
Yeah. Yeah, hey, not a lot of representation in this show.
So far, no.
Oh. Are you saying that like you've watched a little bit ahead and
I'm not sure. I mean, it seems like there's a lot of opportunities to talk about sort of like the context that this is happening in. I get the sense that probably we're not going to take advantage of a lot of those.
Okay.
But it's right there.
Yeah. The shipping yard has a very First Nations name. I forget what it was though.
So
Indigenous people's name.
It sounds like they're saying Clecho, which is spelled like TLI.
Yeah.
So I'm not sure if I'm saying that correctly.
Yeah. They said it a few times in the show, and I think that's what they said.
Mm-hmm.
They representation there, I suppose. The name of the place that they do their shipping from.
Uh-huh.
But no Indigenous people represented in the show at this point. Maybe we'll see some. I would like that.
No women?
Well, some wives.
Some wives did not pass the Bechdel test.
No. No. None of the wives talk to each other.
No.
Okay. That's kind of like all the notes I really have. Oh, at one point they put up the scoreboard at the end.
Yeah.
And it's just like, well, each person has one. How many trips has each person made? 6 names. 1. Okay, well.
All right.
Cool. Maybe in future episodes this will become useful.
Did a lot of table setting. Yeah, they really wanted to introduce the notion of a scoreboard.
Yeah. Oh man. Oh yeah, and then the episode, I think like right at the end, they show TJ. He must be driving back. And he's like, check out this crow. And it's a raven, but which is very funny that the voiceover guy was like it said that it was a raven. I don't know. I just thought that was really interesting.
So that was super. That was funny. I actually think it was a crow. I don't think that was a raven. Like, I'd have to go back. I should go back and look at it again. But like, I guess I mostly have tried to identify them when they're on the ground as opposed to in flight. But it didn't look big enough, or like ravens really have this kind of like beefy, wet, feathery collar thing happening.
Yeah.
And because ravens are much cooler than crows, almost everyone will point to a blackbird and say it's a raven. But I also made a note of the scene, in particular when TJ says, "Look at that silly bugger."
It was undeniably a really sick scene. Like, it was cool.
Yeah.
Like, I thought that was so cool that they got that from multiple angles. This crow or raven flying like right next, like he could have like put his hands out and like pet the bird.
Yeah.
That was cool.
Yeah. Between that and the shots of the Northern Lights,
Yeah.
those were some of the things that I was like hoping would turn up in the series. Is I imagine that these guys just see some like pretty awesome stuff. So
yeah.
I'm hopeful we see more of that.
Some wildlife and stuff.
Yeah, some wildlife, some vistas, some of the beauty of the North.
Yeah. Let me circle back around real quick. Do you do much birding?
No.
Okay, all right. You're talking about IDing crows versus ravens, which is like, feels like you got to know a little bit about birds to be able to do that.
Well, I've been getting a little bit into like Norse mythology, and
Okay.
like
Yes.
people, once people like learn about Odin's ravens, then they're always like, oh, it's a raven, it's a raven, it's a raven, and like post pictures, and it's like always a crow.
Yeah. I have been doing a fair amount of birding,
Oh.
and I'm not sure I've ever seen a raven.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm sure I've seen one, but I've never ID'd one. I've certainly, like, I've ID'd hundreds of crows because they're like, you just see one and they go caw caw, and you're like, oh, that's a crow.
Yeah. I mean, I for sure, I know for like, or how do I express this? There are 3 times that I positively know I did in fact see a raven.
Okay.
So there could have been other times, but I mean, ravens are huge.
Yeah. Yeah, I think that's why I've never been confident that I've seen a raven, because I've been like, well, that's not like a huge bird.
Uh-huh.
I want it to be bigger if it's going to be a raven. I don't know. That's all I have for notes.
Same here.
Yeah,
We did it.
we did it.
We did
How do you
it.
feel?
I feel good. I mean, we summarized a 45-minute show in 84 minutes.
Nice.
And just let me check the follower. Okay, just the one viewer still, I think.
Just the one, huh?
Just the one still.
Okay.
Okay,
Well,
that's fine.
You know,
It's gonna
give me another
it
5
takes
minutes
a
or so,
while.
somebody will pop on.
I'll leave the stream open.
I am excited about continuing this journey.
Yeah, I'm like really excited to watch episode 2. I had to tap the brakes and hold off on going forward.
Yeah.
Because as the scoreboard indicated, Graham, we are just getting started.
I know. Oh man. Yeah. I do think like our future summaries of the episodes should be maybe a little bit simpler, because we won't be talking about
We
the
have to
intro
introduce
first.
everybody. Yeah.
Yeah.
This episode did a lot of work.
Yeah. We're gonna have to always refer everyone, if they're gonna try to jump in to our podcast, like episode 40, like at least go back and listen to episode 1 so you know about the waves under the ice. We're gonna be referring to these things.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Oh man, this was super fun, man.
Right on, dude. Yeah.
Nice.
That's awesome.
Yeah. So, and I guess some production talk. So, listeners, presumably just aliens listening to this thousands of years after our planet's collapsed. Next week, maybe we'll have a musical intro. I think we're gonna have like art and a podcast published.
Hell
Starting
yeah.
off. So look forward to big things coming.
Right on.
Nice.
Nice. We will catch you in a week.
Sounds good. All right. Bye, everyone.
Hey, folks, hang loose and keep on ice road trucking.
All right. I've stopped recording.
Nice.